There may come a time when you need to judge the distance of something, whether it's the width of a river that needs to be crossed or the height of a tree, etc. So today I'm going to show you how to use your compass and this simple formula to do this in an accurate and easy way. Many years ago when I was doing contract work for the Forest Service, I was doing surveys for endangered species, and we had to determine the height of these nests above the forest floor. And instead of guessing like we used to do, I came up with this formula here using trig so I could get an accurate and easy measurement of the height. And so what I did is I marked 10 feet off from the base of the tree where the nest is. And I'm going to use the clinometer in this compass to determine my angle to that nest. And now you could see the clinometer is that needle there that just kind of floats and is, with gravity, and will just hang straight down from the compass. Now I'm going to show you later with the river example how to do this without a clinometer if you just have a plain base plate compass. But for now I'll explain with this one in case you have something like this. Alright, so I'm going to basically hold the compass this way and sight like this and hold this level, and then I'm going to use the mirror right here to read the angle that it shows. Alright, so up here it looks like I'm at about 50 degrees of angle to that nest. So I go to the front here of my chart and I look up 50 degrees. The ratio is 1.19. That's the ratio from my distance to the tree up to there. So since I did mark off 10 feet, all I have to do is move the decimal place over, so 11.9 feet up, plus my height, so we'll just say 12 feet plus 6 feet, so that nest there is about 18 feet above the forest floor. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use your compass to judge distance on the ground. And I've set up an imaginary river crossing exercise here. We're going to pretend that between these two trees is a river, and I have some rope I want to get across it and tie across so other folks can use it as a safety measure. And I want to make sure I have enough rope before I do something like that. So this is a very practical exercise, and I'll show you how it works. The first thing I want to do is establish my 90-degree angle with my anchor tree. So I position myself with my anchor tree and my target tree in line, and I shoot a bearing, move my bezel so the red is in the shed. There it is. And it looks like it's about 135 degrees. Now I've tied my anchor rope to the tree, and instead of using this formula and marking off 10 feet, I'm going to use another trick, which is if I make this angle 45 degrees, it is exactly the same distance, as long as it's a right triangle, to my anchor tree. All right, that's why it's very important that we establish that 90 degrees. So that's what I'm going to do first. And I'm out here because I just have an approximate, what I think is an approximate distance to that anchor tree, or from the anchor tree to my target tree. And I'm about that distance away from my anchor tree. And I'm going to use my compass and sight in to my anchor tree, and I'm going to make that magnetic needle east-west. All right, because as long as it's east-west, that's 90 degrees, right? And it's about where I'm standing. So the next step is to mark off a 45-degree angle to the target tree. So I'm going to turn this way, keeping my 90 there, and not rotating the bezel or anything, but just using that magnetic declination scale at the bottom. And I'm going to move myself, kind of following the line of my rope here that's on the ground. I'm going to move myself until this angle is 45 degrees. Which is right about there. All right, check my 90 again. That is east-west. And that is a 45. So I'm going to tie a knot in the rope right here as a reference. Here's the knot I tied, and you can see this is the slack that I have left. So it's a good thing I took this measurement because it's awfully close, but I'm confident enough in my measurement that I think I would do that crossing and have enough to tie on the other end. Let's see if I'm right. Now I wanted to be honest, I didn't pre-measure this or anything, so let's see how I did. This is the target tree, and here's the knot I tied. You can see I'm about 1.5 feet, 2 feet short maybe, which isn't too bad for you know, eyeballing it. You can see I do have enough to tie my anchor to the other side, so I would have been okay doing that crossing, but I feel a lot better taking these measurements beforehand. Well, it's about 100 degrees, folks, so I am done with the sun, but I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're interested in this clinometer formula, it is on our website. Go to bushcraftnorthwest.com, and under additional resources, there's a link to articles and videos, and you'll find it in there with the rest of the articles. It just says clinometer formula. It'll download a PDF that you can print out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's a little bit complicated, but I mean, once you do it a few times, you'll see it's pretty user friendly. You can do distance on the ground using the base 10 if you can't march out your full distance. It's just a little more complicated. I'll do an article on that someday to show you how to do it where you're not using the 45 and you're actually using a shorter distance with this formula. But for now, try that, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks.